Okay, so I've been a professional music producer doing this full time for the past 2 years, and honestly, some of the items that I mentioned, actually all of the items that I mentioned today are still products that I use here from my home setup. Okay, coming in first is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. This is an audio interface. This is what you will need in order to plug in your studio microphone, which we'll talk about in a minute. It has 2 inputs, this one. I believe you can get one that just has 1 input. They are XLR inputs, but they also take jack as well, which means that you can plug in a guitar into these, piano, any instrument that uses a jack lead, you can plug straight into here and play your instruments and record your vocals through this interface. I think it's pretty much everybody's go-to starter audio interface. Like I said, this is my first interface I ever got about 7 years ago, and I still use it to this day. Okay, so next up is my microphone of choice. The microphone that I would start with, and honestly, I still use this microphone also, is the Audio-Technica AT2020. Got this about 5 years ago, and yeah, I still use it to demo tracks. In my recent YouTube videos, I've been using it as well. It's a great all-round mic. It's a budget microphone, so it's not too expensive either. The only thing that I would say that annoys me about it is that it's very sensitive to pops. So when you're saying your P words and your B words, it picks them up and it's very sensitive to it. You need to make sure you've got a pop filter with this. I actually use, as a little add-on, this Studio Spares. It's like a cover that goes over it. An isolator, excuse me if I'm not knowing the correct terminology, but it's got a pop shield on it as well, and it just isolates it. Shall we call it an isolator? Just isolates the microphone, and it's just a nice accessory that helps you get the clearest sound out of this microphone. Another essential, but I'm not really going to put it in the list, is obviously a microphone stand. You need a microphone stand to go with that. I wasn't going to mention this, but this has been a bit of a game changer, especially with the room that I'm in right now. My actual studio that I do go to and I professionally track all my vocals in, it's soundproof, but here I'm at home. I've just got a little setup at home. I've got some sound panels in here. Basically, it's not fully soundproof in here, so this helps just to reduce the room noise a little bit. So I'm going to put that on the list as well. Next on my list of essentials, a decent pair of headphones. These are the DT990 Pros, open back headphones, perfect for mixing. These are a little bit on the expensive side if you're on a budget. I would probably recommend the Audio-Technica ATH M20Xs. We've got a few of them at the studio and you can pick them up for around £45. But yeah, I'll leave a few options down in the description below. The next item is probably the most important item, and I should have probably started there, is a laptop. A laptop or a computer, along with a DAW, D-A-W, which also stands for a digital audio workstation or workspace. I use a MacBook Pro, but I know plenty of people that use Windows laptops. I'm not going to go into the specifics on what laptops you can get on a budget that can run a decent DAW. I've used Mac for pretty much the whole time that I've been producing, and I've been using Logic Pro X. I would probably recommend checking out some videos on different DAWs and see which one is best for you. But my personal favorite is Logic, as I think its user interface is the simplest to use and easiest to navigate, and of course, it's an industry standard. Okay, so the laptop and the DAW is out of the way, which are the absolute essentials because you can't make music without any of them two. The next thing I'm going to mention is a decent pair of monitors. So if we're going on budget monitors, and the monitors that I use when I'm at home are the PreSonus Eris or Eris 3.5 Gen 2. I'm looking at them on Amazon right now. You can get them for about £75. I think these are obviously the first generation that I use. I find that they're a little bit bass heavy, but again, I've used these for the past 5 years. I have mixed and mastered on them. Honestly, for £75, I think it's an absolute steal, which is why they've earned themselves a spot on my list of essentials. Okay, so the last item that I'm going to mention on my list is a MIDI keyboard. Although in recent times I wouldn't really call it an essential because I don't use them all that much anymore. It is something that I thought was pretty essential, and if you're making beats and stuff like that, it will obviously make the process a lot easier. I use the Alesis Q49. Again, I've had this pretty much since the beginning. Okay, so this is 49 keys, and you can pick this up for around £70. You may just want something that's a little bit smaller that you can use to just program in 808s or simple melody lines that you can also move up and down the octave. So for those of you that are wanting something smaller, I would recommend the Akai Professional LPK25, and I'll leave that in the description below. I'm going to throw in an honourable mention as well, and I'm going to suggest getting some sort of soundproofing for your studio. If it's a home studio, I've got to retile this whole room because I'm getting a lot of room noise within this little wall trap right here, and this back wall has been stripped because I've just had some sound panels made. But yeah, I hope this video has helped for anybody that's just starting out. Drop me a comment down in the comment section below, perhaps with your own recommendations or anything that I may have missed off. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.